Dear Diary, after the little situation with Katie last entry, I had decided to take a short break from the normal missions to try out a new gadget. I tried out something called the Prank Spasm, which seemed like it would be a lot of fun, giving me the ability to electrocute people through switches, although some people didn't seem to like the name too much. I then decided I had to use this in the field, so I accepted a conversation from a mysterious stranger. It was about Katie's case, so this would help me get rid of some of the guilt for causing all the problems in the first place. The client gave up his secret identity within the first few seconds of the conversation. It was the chief of police. I was of course respectful of him and his position, and asked him what his plan was. I was to go back to the bloody place that started this whole mess in the first place. I couldn't go in through the door, so I went in once again through the roof some idiot had already smashed up last time around, so it was quite simple to get in. There was only one guard, so this would be mostly easy. I opened all the doors I needed to as I went up through the floors, turning off as many lights as possible to make my entry easier. I went up the lift, but the guard heard the noise and turned around. Going back down, I tried to use the door to attract his attention, but while a lift making noise got his attention, a door randomly opening and closing without him pressing anything was apparently normal behaviour in a building where he was the only guard. Instead, I opened up the door, snuck up behind him, turned the lights off, and then shut him back in the room when he started patrolling. Trap the git. Now all the humans were dealt with, it was time to deal with the electronics. I panicked slightly when I realised that the only switch I could use was in the room with the guard, but instead wired up the lift to do the job for me. Yoinking another laptop and reading some interesting information about Selena while doing so, I went back down, got the footage I needed and left the building, unseen and unheard, except for one very confused guard anyway. Deciding to test my luck, I sent over the data to the chief of police. It was fine, my face would remain hidden for a bit longer. I figured I'd left the sweary man for long enough now, so it was time to steal the item from Rook that I had stolen from Intex for the purpose of then stealing it from Rook so that it could be tracked back down to Intex. Once my head stopped hurting from thinking and understanding all of this, I went to work. Although Rook knew I was going to steal the thing, they decided to put on extra security. I guess it would have been too obvious if it was too easy, so I had people who could see in the dark to deal with. I must have had a lot of cowards. The second objective was to leave no living witnesses, so I dealt with the first guard to make sure that that would not happen. Entering through an open door on the second floor, I took a look around. I used the motion sensors to turn off the lights, not that it would help much because the guy could see me. Instead I came up with another cunning plan. I wired up the motion sensor to activate a socket. Planning to use my prank spasm, I wired the socket to the hand scanner on the guard side of the door. Then, giggling like a schoolgirl, I ran through the sensor when the guard approached the scanner. He may be able to see in the dark, but he can't handle being electrocuted. Best of all, he didn't even see me. I opened all the doors on the ground floor that I needed and hacked the next level of security. I snuck up behind the guard to use the camera to activate the door on the top floor, triumphantly running to the lift. Then I remembered that I needed to open another door as well to actually get up to the top floor, and the door I had opened would let a guard see me. This was going to be a long mission. Rewiring things to fix this, I once again snuck up behind the guard and used the camera, opening the door to enable me to get to the top floor. I then went in to claim my prize, turning off the lights as I left, leaving the guard to open the door and turn them straight back on again because I didn't rewire them. A minor flaw in my plan. Getting the laptop I spotted would be a bit more troublesome, however, as the guards were armoured and so wouldn't fall easily to the power of the leaping trousers. I unwired the hand scanner and used the security camera to lock the guard in the room away from the wire trap point so I could hack more security, and then used the trousers to make an entrance into the room. He heard it, but he couldn't see me, so it all counted. Once I had access to more of the electronics, I used the lift to turn off as many lights as possible and opened the doors of the laptop, so I could run in and grab the goods. It looked like more people were having as much fun rewiring things as I was from the data I found in there. With that, I had all the details I needed and ran out of the building, leaving no witnesses that saw me. Just one guard with head injuries from a fall and one electrocuted sucker. The client seemed happy. I was tempted to tell him that he was being set up, but decided against it. So there we have it, diary. I have returned to the scene of a crime I never committed, to get the evidence that I tried to bury in the first place. I stole something for a client from another one of my clients, said client getting me to steal it from the first client in the first place so that it could be stolen. I was unsure why, but I got the feeling that I wasn't really moving forward very far with the last couple of missions. In fact, the only thing going up was my bank balance and the number of gadgets I had to hand. But seriously, why the hell would you call something a prank spasm?